and welcome to the Series 10 panel discussion, and today I have on Matt Walters and Brian Corrigan. They also have some YouTube channels which I've left links to in the description, and they're very good, so I do recommend it. Hello.
Hey, he pronounced my last name right.
Well, can nobody say Corrigan right?
It's pronounced Corrigan. Nobody in America says it right.
Well, that's because they're all fucking
oregano.
idiot Yanks.
Oregano.
Well, what do you expect when you live in such a shit country, really?
Good point.
It's Trump's America.
Has he made America great again, Brian, in
No.
your opinion?
No.
When was it ever great? Oh,
That's actually very true.
drop
I
the
actually
mic.
agree.
There's quite a flaw
I
in
agree
Trump's
with that
logic there.
question. It was never great. How can you make it great again?
Yeah, I mean, well, actually, no. I was about
Welcome
to dive
back
into
to
politics
another
there, but
sensible
maybe that's
political
maybe we should
discussion.
put that aside for today's episode, which we're talking about Lie of the Land. So the first,
Something else to be mad about.
yay! Yes, I'm not too happy about this one. So you're people who were looking for me to hate lots of the Series 10 episodes, you're finally going to get that delicious rant you've been looking forward to, because I know there's a few of you out there. So the first one is, the first thing that we're going to talk about is the Doctor, Bill, and Nardole. What did you think of them in this story?
You want to start, Brian?
The Doctor's a troll.
He bloody well is, isn't he?
Bill was alright, but she's always alright.
Yeah, Bill's always good. I mean, I felt the bits
It's
with her
fucking
mother
Nardi.
were just unnecessary.
I did too.
Like, you know,
And
that could work. Like, having her mother, you know, there in some way, like, you know, because obviously her being dead has had a profound impact on Bill's life, but in this way, it just felt
Fucking cop.
basically
I'm
it was used
guessing-
for two reasons. One, just to exposition like what was going on at the beginning, and number two, to end the story. There was no like artistic reason for her to be there. She was there purely just to get the story going and then to end it, which, you know, that's not how you should use something emotional like that.
All fair points.
I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, Pearl Mackie was actually, her acting in this was really great. But I mean, it's just, you know what, it's a certain like level like great actors can go to, like with a very mediocre script.
Yeah,
So-
there's only so far they can drag it up, because the Doctor, Bill, and Nardole, all good as usual here. I mean, obviously Nardole's only really been good since Oxygen, but, you know, but glad to see they're keeping it up, even if I felt that some of Nardole's jokes were maybe a bit, you know,
Hashtag
mistimed.
Nardi.
Like, they just seem to come out at very inappropriate moments.
He's just
Yeah,
yeah.
but who doesn't love a bit of Nardi though?
Why does everybody keep on bloody talking about that? It's just one stupid line.
Yeah.
And I will
You
say,
know what?
even
It's
though
fucking stupid and hilarious. That's why.
even though I think the Doctor was just a bit in some of this, there was one line I really did like that he
That
said.
ending line.
Yeah, it was the line that he ended on where he said, "Because 1 in 7 billion, there's somebody like you, Bill." When Bill asks him, you know, why do you put up with us? And I thought, phew, I thought there was going to be like, you know, one of those pretentious New Who speeches,
Yeah,
you know, about
it felt
how great
actually
humans
genuine.
are. But that is something that I feel that the Doctor would say. Like, if you watch the
Yeah.
classic series, he's not hot on humans at all.
Yeah.
Whereas in New Who, he just seems to, like, hype them up as the best thing ever until, like, you know, unless it's the man who never would shit. But whatever. You know what I mean. Here, it's one, it's a nice sweet line. Two, it's more in character than with the Doctor than some shit speech about how great humans are would be.
I mean, I didn't mind it very much. It was okay. It's still not as in character for the Doctor as you'd think it would be, but at least it wasn't a speech, like you said.
I think it felt very genuine.
I thought it felt very genuine. I really liked that line. I mean, I know it
Paldian.
may seem that I'm, just overemphasizing this line in terms of importance, but it's just because
It's pretty great.
It's one of the few things that I really liked in this episode. One of the very few things. So obviously I'm going to latch onto it as a point that I can say, you know, that was good.
No, it's definitely one of the positives. I agree.
Even though it's, in the long run, didn't really have much of an impact on the rest. Since
Yeah.
it was just kind of in the
I mean,
epilogue.
the Doctor in general this episode. I mean, Capaldi did what he could with a very script. I mean, I really liked him in maybe the opening 10 minutes, before the unveiling.
Oh yeah, I think we need to talk about that unveiling.
After the unveiling, was it just me, or did he just suddenly turn into fucking Matt Smith? He couldn't stop waving his fucking hands. I was like, fucking stop it.
Yeah.
Fucking. I'm not gonna lie, bit let down from Whithouse.
What do you think of the cop-outs then, since we're on the topic?
Fucking annoyed.
Yeah, it was just Moffat trolling us.
Just lazy.
That was probably the biggest troll in Doctor Who's history.
And the thing about it is, it kind of just led everything up to that point, which is half of the runtime, by the way, just to seem like meaningless and pointless. It just killed the atmosphere, the sense of danger.
Oh, I hated that so much.
It just feels like half the screen time is now completely redundant now.
Yeah.
Because
instead of making an actual plot around it that could be really very interesting, you decided to fucking troll us.
I think maybe since we're on this kind of topic, we'll move on to just the plot in general, since that's the next point I've got on my list. So yeah, let's just go into that.
It had a really nice atmosphere at the start of this story.
For like the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, very 1984-ish, until the big reveal where it just turned into shite.
Yeah, okay, well, let me just talk about this. So the whole concept of, people not being able to remember what's real and constantly being fed propaganda, so they're not sure what history actually was. Sure, it's completely ripped off from 1984 with the whole, we've always been at war with Eurasia, that part of the novel. But at the same time, it could lead to some interesting character drama with people struggling to know what's real and what's not. And it could have worked as a basis for an episode, but it's literally abandoned after 2 minutes. And then they just go on a quest for the Doctor. And then everything that went on before that just seems to be completely shattered. But, when they go to the Doctor, it turns out he was in control the whole time. So that eradicates the sense of danger and just makes half of the screen time just feel pointless. Which I think is a terrible move.
The whole before titles scene sets up a very different story.
And then, just to kill the sense of danger even more, after the Doctor is revealed to have just been trolling Bill, they managed to
for 6 months,
university without encountering any opposition at all. Like, sure, the monks are there, but it's just kind of completely glossed over. They just are there after, a small montage. And it just, again, kills the sense of danger yet more, as they just seem to have no trouble getting around in this, what's meant to be a really tightly held dictatorship. And then, for the next 8 minutes from then on, it's literally just 2 scenes of a few people in the room doing exposition about how to resolve the plot.
Missy AIDS.
Yeah, but it's just it's all exposition about how to resolve the plot, and he's just completely forgetting the golden rule of writing, which is show, don't tell. And we're just told all of this, which just makes it really boring. Wouldn't it be much more interesting to watch if, say, for example, from seeing something happen, from events that happened to them, Capaldi slowly managed to work out how to resolve the plot, through things that happened. That's how you write more interesting. I kind of messed up how I was explaining that, but you know what I mean. It's much more interesting, learning things about how the plot develops when it slowly develops because the characters work things out based on scenes that happen. That's much more interesting than you just being told it by Missy.
Now that you've really got me thinking about it, the whole plot is retarded.
It is.
What's the... Okay, the Doctor could have solved this immediately, and he waited 6 months! For what?
To troll Bill.
That's
retarded.
The only reason, apparently,
just to fuck with Bill.
If you believe the episode, the reason was because of the virus in the previous episode. Nardole was, knocked out for 6 months.
Yeah, he could have done it without Nardole. He's done that shit without Nardole before.
That was its explanation. I know it's a terrible one.
That's stupid.
It really is very stupid. And then after that, it moves on to
I couldn't
basically
save the world because Noddle was broken.
Oh, you can make that into a meme. Hey, Doctor, let's come and save the world. Nah, can't. Nodal machine's broken. Understandable. Have a nice day.
Uh,
Fucking retarded.
yeah.
And then after that, it kind of moves on to basically what's kind of the fourth plot strand. Because what this
Oh.
feels like is there were loads
The
of
Eye of the Storm.
They had loads of ideas of how to, make this episode progress. And they've just kind of Frankenstein them together. So the first bit being, the bit where it's kind of 1984-y. The second bit where they go and find the Doctor. The third bit, when they get there and he was just trolling and they go back. The fourth bit, when they're like, it's 8 minutes of exposition. And then the fifth bit is when they go to the temple and resolve the plot, which is the bit we're moving on to now. And at this point, I just don't care anymore. Because
I was fucking bored with the story.
yeah,
by
it was
that
all
point.
been made really boring by the fact that we've just been told through exposition what's going to happen. With the only
I don't think you expressed this enough, Dylan. I'm really disappointed we didn't go through the 1984 route.
So am I.
Really disappointed.
It could have made for some great character drama, as I said, but instead, all we've got is just, Frankenstein bits of plots, trolls,
I
cop-outs,
couldn't save the
and
world,
exposition.
Bill. My noddle was broken.
Nah, I remember checking the time. It was about 35 minutes into the episode. I was like, where the fuck is... When's the plot going to progress? It's like, fuck me.
And then it manages to perform one more cardinal sin before it's over, and that
Power
is
of
the
love.
fact that it ends not only very abruptly, but because of the power of love. Did you not see how much people hated it when it was done in closing time? And people still go on about it to this day. Like, it's had that much of an impact on fans. So, how do you think people are going to feel when you do the exact same thing again?
You can do it, Craig! That's my Matt Smith impression.
No,
I'm going
but-
to kiss you.
No, but it's just, I know they gave some kind of a shit explanation, but it was very, vague and nebulous. And I just think it was just an excuse to have it end through the power of love. That's all it was, really.
I'm actually very disappointed with Toby Woodhouse on this one.
Yeah, because I thought, when I saw this trilogy, I was like,
It's
that
definitely
one's
his
going to be the
weakest
best one,
work.
because it's got Toby Whithouse. And,
Toby
I
Woodhouse
don't
I
is
don't like
like
Stephen
one
Moffat
of
People
the
Harness, so...
Woodhouse is one of the best writers.
He's definitely one of the most consistent, recurring writers, isn't he?
I think I agree with
so-
Matt more on that,
so
because he's
disappointed.
definitely consistent, but I don't think he's great. He's never really wrote an episode which was outstanding. He just wrote a lot of pretty good ones, and some fall kind of more on the bad
This is
side,
definitely
but
his
never
shittest.
awful. This is by far his shittest. It's really, really bad. Just
But then
all of the writing falls absolutely flat.
I was thinking he's kind of been forced to write the ending of a trilogy, hasn't he? So I don't know how much of that
Well,
lies
yeah,
with,
but it
with
was
him.
he was given a decent build-up to work off.
Yeah, no, I'm not using it as an excuse. I'm just saying there's certain influences that,
Oh yeah, I have no
Perhaps
doubt Moffat
limited
probably
him.
fucked with it a bit.
yeah.
And the regeneration thing was probably Moffat's
Oh,
idea, let's
fucking
face it.
Here's-
But I don't think that can excuse writing that's so consistently poor throughout this episode on such a high magnitude.
Here's how I wanted The Lie of the Land to go, right?
It's just lackluster.
So, we have the pre-titles that establishes that it's going to be a 1984-ish plot. So you'd think the main focus of the entire episode would be Bill doing stuff in this sort of dystopian world. And then, towards the end, we get the Doctor, being evil, and then getting shot, and somehow it doesn't actually happen. And boom, they defeat the monks.
Nope, fake regen, power of love, bitch.
And lots of exposition just to...
And
go
a
aside.
random Michelle Gomez. In there.
We'll get
Good
on
luck.
to Missy in a moment, because I do actually
Like,
have some stuff to say
well-
about that. But first of all, we're going to move on to the monks.
You-
So just,
Okay.
what do you think of them in this story?
They don't really appear much, do they?
Exactly. For the monk trilogy, they barely appear here.
Do they
They
even
were-
have a line in this episode? I think one just
Holy
breathes that.
No, they don't have any lines. They don't talk. I
One
just
just-
realised that.
One
a
just
few of them die.
one just gives Bill a whiff of its smelly ass breath. And
Oh
then
yeah,
leaves.
no. I've got something. Like they're on an undercover mission to fucking restore the good memories, and like the monks don't remember which fucking one gave them consent to the fucking planet.
That's a good point.
It's
Remember,
like
they do
I-O
say there's
fucking
only-
K.
There's only 12 of them as well.
Okay.
No, but
That's
remember they
what
say
I
in every
know.
episode there's only 12
Oh my
months,
God,
so
you're
surely
right.
they know who Bill was.
I remember being confused by that because that thing, the monk literally walks up to Bill and it's just like,
literally fucking
whatever.
stares at her, like from fucking Point Blank range.
I
It's
thought
like,
it was going to say something, but no, it just awkwardly walks away.
Fuck me. Alright, I just when I was watching it, I got really worked up about that. I was like, what?
Yeah, the monks. Oh god, yeah, they were handled much worse.
I mean,
here
yeah, it's been
than I
6
thought
months.
before doing this, but yeah, you're
But there's
right.
12 of you, and you can't remember which fucking human gave you consent.
I can't
Oh, well,
remember.
you
but we
know
all
how
look
it
the
is.
same.
Well, Matt, you know how it is when somebody turns up 15 years after you've been in your prime, and they're saying that you gave them consent. They've got a child now, and you just don't remember.
It's like, you gave
That
me
might have
consent.
been a drunk
didn't
night
you?
out. After 6 months, you don't remember who you gave consent to.
Klaus gave me consent. I trust.
What? That sentence kind of ended. It ended almost as badly as The Lie of the Land.
Which is a horrible title, I must say.
Oh,
Which I didn't know until 5 minutes before starting this
How do you not know
podcast.
the name of the episodes? Come on.
Because I don't care enough.
No, I care enough, Matt. You're not a
Oh.
real fan like me. You're not a true
Cute.
Whovian. Not a true Whovian.
I've got better things to
I
do.
bet you're a dweek.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, but apart from that, the monks were great in Extremis. Yeah.
Extremis.
Extremis, whatever. They weren't good, but they were effective in last episode.
don't watch
Yeah.
out. I'll go pronouncing River Thames as River,
They were just
River
shite.
Thames again.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
they were just shite here. Is there
Yeah,
anything
they were
else you want to say on
They were
them?
just non-existent. It was just fucking go away. Just fuck off.
And they did. Very abruptly. And because of the power of love.
Very easily.
Alright, okay, so let's move on to Missy, who's in this episode. I do have a lot to say on this, so I'll let you two go first.
All right, Matt, you go first.
Okay. Now a lot. The general reaction from fans to Missy since she fucking appeared has been majorly negative because she isn't really the master, is she? Well, stereotypically.
She doesn't feel like
But-
the Matt.
But
Nor
I've
did John
been,
Sim, in fairness.
but I've been
John,
quite.
I hate John Sim more than Missy.
What's the
Actually,
word?
Same.
I've been quite. I'm impartial to Missy, mainly because I like Michelle Gomez as an actress.
Same.
But,
Yeah.
I love the actress, and it's not as bad as John Sims.
But in
I
this
haven't
episode-
been that negative. But yeah, go on.
specifically in this episode, she's just pointless. She doesn't need to be in the episode apart from fucking exposition. And Missy's quite OTT. She's quite an OTT character, but
over the top.
yeah, she didn't get on my tits in this episode that much, but
Well, have I
It's
got
just-
it? Oh, ho, ho.
yeah, she's just and that final scene, the final scene with her crying, it's like fuck off. Like, stop trying to make the master fucking generally turn good. It's like fuck, just go fuck yourself.
Go on
That's
then,
my-
Brian.
that's my
I
fucking
can tell you're raring to go.
Okay. So, like Matt said, that scene, that 8-minute scene, was fucking pointless.
Fucking
She had
meaningless.
no reason to be there. Why was she there? Why did they feel the need to shoehorn her in?
I honestly don't know. I mean,
Because
she
Michelle
was
Gomez
basically
is
just
leading.
there for that bit
So
of
she's-
exposition.
Can I also bring up another point? Why the fuck is our season arc Missy again?
Yeah, I brought that up in Extremis, the Extremis panel discussion. It really.
Well, I
bugged
wasn't
me.
on the Extremis panel discussion, so I'm bringing it back up
Not
now.
a true Lord Slar fan, not keeping up with all of the panel discussions.
No, I mean I wasn't on it.
Oh, were you not watching it though?
Sorry, what's this? I was
Sure, you would know.
kind of dozed off.
If you watched all my videos.
I am not a true
Caught
Lord
out.
Sluggian.
Caught out. Anyway, go on.
What was I saying?
Missy
Yeah.
is a season arc again.
Why is she the season arc again?
Because they have no
She's
fucking
hardly
ideas.
a season arc. If you could call it fucking season arc.
Well, I mean, it's basically one. It's a recurring thing through the stories. It's as much a story arc as all the ones from previous seasons. I know it's shit, but they always are shit.
I wouldn't agree with that, but
And of course,
you can
that
go
scene,
to one of the podcasts and talk about
of course,
it.
that scene at the end. Why are they trying to make the Master like Jesus again?
What? What? Well, I didn't read that from it.
Or I don't know, some sort of
Make her like
fallen
Jesus.
angel type shit.
But Jesus isn't a fallen angel. Jesus did good.
Are you okay
Like,
there, Ryan?
if you believe Jesus existed and did exactly what he did,
Jesus
according to the
did
Bible,
exist. I'm just not religious.
Well, yeah. Well, if you believe Jesus is exactly how it describes in the Bible, then, you know, he's not like a fallen angel type character. Everything he does is good, and he gives good advice constantly.
All right, then fuck what I just
according to
said. Why
Christianity.
are
So,
they treating
that's a
Missy
terrible
like?
comparison.
Because
Yeah,
she's crying
sorry.
over everyone she's killed.
Why are they treating her like a fallen angel? Yeah, but that's shit though. That's not the Master. The Master doesn't.
She's just
That
imagine,
was one of the points
imagine.
I was going to bring up.
She's
actually.
just ticking them off. It's like, oh, that insect thing from Utopia. Fucking, I'm so sorry for killing you.
Like,
it's
imagine,
you
imagine
Daleks
Roger
would be classic.
Delgado sitting in that
Sorry.
chair being like, oh, I've killed so many people.
No, the Master's meant to be a really callous bastard.
Yeah,
For
he's
him,
supposed to be
it's-
cold and
it's-
heartless. He doesn't have a heart underneath.
Like, he's like a Pax Romana type of person, which if you don't know what that means, that means Roman peace, where basically it's peace by conquest. The ends justify the means. That's the kind of, you know, theology he lives by. You know, the ends justify the means. So it doesn't matter how many he kills, he thinks that in the end he's doing, you know, from his point of view, his good. That's the reason why he wants power, because he thinks that he'd be more capable of it than others. And he doesn't regret killing anybody at all if it helps him reach it.
Missy needs to shed a tear for every person she's killed. In every life.
God.
Right, okay, so I'm gonna kind of lay into this now. So,
You should probably edit my Jesus bit out. Just
okay,
saying.
if you really want to.
No, it's brilliant. Please don't.
Please fucking do that.
Right, I'm gonna listen to Matt because I like him more.
Ah, you bastard.
Right,
Oh,
okay, so I'm going
hey.
to kind of lay into it now. So if you just ignore the whole fact that it's out of character for the Master, just, what the fuck was that? You know, there's been absolutely no build-up to it, and considering how much of a character revelation that'd be if it was in character, then you'd need to have a lot of development in it going over time, whereas we've barely seen these two characters together. In the whole of Capaldi's era, never mind this season where this character arc's happening, she's had two very fleeting appearances, and I don't feel that there's been enough build-up to justify an emotional crux where she's crying over all those she's killed. There's been no like kind of trigger to make her
No.
feel like that.
There
Why
hasn't.
is she feeling about that? Has the Doctor talked to her about something? Has she seen somebody die in a horrific way? What? Because we haven't seen anything to make us believe that that would provoke that kind of response out of her. So it's just terribly, terribly written. I feel like I'm
Maybe-
missing something. It's like listening to one half of a phone call conversation. It's just,
I'm hoping-
we're missing something. We're missing a big scene.
Hold on. I'm hoping that because it's Missy, she's just faking him out. You know,
but
because that...
that'd somehow be even more boring than what it is already.
Oh, it's already boring in the first place, but it's a terrible idea. But if you make her faking it out just so she can get out of the vault, that that'd be all right then. I wouldn't have a problem with
Yeah,
that.
but Missy's been so poorly handled. And I just can't believe they're reaching this level of an emotional crux with, Wedge has had no
The
screen
fucking
time,
master.
no reason to be in that emotional state. It's just stupid.
If you want to
And
see a good master story with an emotional crux, go listen to Master.
exactly.
We should have a
Because you
we should
see,
have a
that's justified because it's got a lot of build up, a lot of good world building. It's done very, very well. And that's why when there is some extreme reactions, it's all completely justified, as is in most bits of fiction, because they've
Well,
had a build up to it. There's been causes, there's been reasons. We haven't had that here. And it's not like this is just, a mistake that lots of things make. This is a very rare mistake that only, you'd think very amateur writers would make. Because, in writing, you need to show causes for things to happen. Otherwise, it just
I
feels like
reckon
things are happening for no reason. So it's appalling writing.
I reckon
Absolutely
we should have a
appalling.
Missy in the Vault spin-off.
No.
And it should run for like 90 seasons.
Alright, so...
I actually would have preferred it if it was the Mondasian.
She's just ticking off a big list of all the people she's killed.
The Mondasian eating Chinese.
yes.
It's just ticking off the people of the list she's killed.
Anyway, so what did you think of the trilogy on the whole then, since we've reached the end of it?
First two episodes were good. The last one was utter wank. So I'd give it 6 out of 10, just because the last episode was utter wank.
The first one I fucking enjoyed. I really enjoyed it. I don't care what everyone else says. I know it's a very what's the thing? Opinion splitting episode.
Divisive.
Yeah, that's the word. I really liked it. I wasn't a big fan of last week's, but it was better than this shit. So
Score out of 10?
I don't know. 6.
Right, so I really liked Extremis, even if it was quite flawed. I gave it 7 out of 10, and I still stick by that, but it was a very enjoyable episode, and it felt, very interesting. It was a very interesting one to watch. Then Pyramid at the End of the World, while it wasn't that interesting to watch, it was watchable, there was some enjoyment to be had there, if not all that much really happened. All of that build-up, even though while it was decent build, it wasn't the best build-up in the world, has led to a really, really disappointing conclusion, which is just such an awful script on so many levels. I'm probably going to have to give it a 5 out of 10, to be honest. There's just the whole thing about the monks. The monks are barely in this trilogy, and the reason why Extremis was good wasn't really because of the monks, it was just because of the idea Stephen Moffat was throwing at it. You could replace the monks in Extremis with any alien race, and it'd make no difference. The only place where they're not generic, really, is the Pyramid at the End of the World. I know they're kind of not in Lie of the Land, but, that's just discounted immediately because it's a really terrible story, so you can't really count that as a point in the favour of this trilogy.
Yeah.
But in Pyramid at the End of the World, they are unique there, but that wasn't the highlight of the trilogy. So that's why I've got to give it a 5 out of 10, just because it wasn't a great trilogy, in all honesty.
Yeah,
it started off really well, kind of dwindled a bit in the middle, but I thought, oh well, it's going to lead up to a big conclusion, so it doesn't matter. It's like reviewing episode
because
2,
Toby
the
Whithouse.
classic episode. But then this one was just awful. So I'm sorry. So now on to the final thoughts on this episode in particular.
Definitely the worst of the season thus far, in my opinion. 2.
Not Matt,
Just
Brian.
shocking.
Well,
3 being generous.
It was pretty fucking shit. But yeah, I'll probably give it the same score as Smile. 1 or 2 out of 10, basically. It's pretty shit.
Right, so while it isn't that painful to watch, It's not one of those episodes which is so bad it's unwatchable. It's just got a script that fails on so many levels.
It's when you really start thinking about it.
Just the moment you start thinking about it, it all falls apart, and it really is just such shoddy and almost amateurish writing that I can't give it anything, above a 2 out of 10.
Yeah, it's like something
It's just-
you'd expect from me.
Honestly, I think you could probably write better because it just ignores so many, founded writing conventions that
It
all
had so much
writers learn
potential.
at day one of writing school.
It's just, it had so much potential. It's a real fucking
Yeah.
letdown. Just saying.
It was just a hodgepodge of lots of random plot threads. All of them developed really poorly. It just
And it's
deviates from the
very
original
anticlimactic.
interesting intention to just be really shit.
Yeah. And all from the man behind fucking Being Human. It's like, what?
Yeah. I don't know what's going on here because Whithouse definitely let us down because he's been a decent writer for Doctor Who before.
Maybe Stephen Moffat had a lot more to do with it.
Yeah,
than
I
me.
reckon Moffat did have quite a
I
bit to
reckon
do
he
with
did as
this.
well.
But I
Fucking
wouldn't.
Moffat, eh?
I don't want to blame Moffat
Get him
for this
out!
one. Like, unless I'm proved, unless I'm given evidence to suggest that it was Moffat's fault, I'm not going to blame him. So,
I'm
Fucking
just
impeach
saying it's a
Moffat.
probability.
alright, so that wraps up the Live the Land.
Yes.
So before you go, do you want to talk about the Next Time trailer?
Oh, what?
Have neither of you bastards watched this?
Why does the fucking Queen thingy, the Queen Ice
you
Warrior
watched it,
new
yes.
thing, sound like the
Oh
Arachnos?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, maybe it's because
And
the same actor.
why,
I don't know. I don't know if it's the same actor.
why
but
is
I'm
the
just saying it might
fucking
be.
AIDS Murray Gold Cybermen music playing?
That is
It's like, fuck off.
I didn't hear that, actually.
I actually quite like that.
Oh, wait, no.
The Cybermen
Quick
thing.
note
You know, the
before we
dun,
talk-
dun, dun,
No, but quick note before we
dun,
talk about
dun.
the Next Time trailer. I know we already are, but just how shit was the Murray Gold score in Live the Land?
Oh, fuck off. I just wanted to fucking kill myself because of Murray Gold.
Yeah,
he made
it was terrible.
every genuine moment just fucking OTT. It's like, fuck off.
Yeah, he was really, really bad.
The bits that could have been good in this episode, or at least, somewhat fucking, like, average, were just ruined by him. It's like, fuck off.
It's like, usually my thoughts with Murray Gold are, it's good music, but it just doesn't suit Doctor Who. In this case, it was crap music, and it didn't suit Doctor Who, so it was just failed on both fronts.
Elevator music.
It's really, really bad. Anyway, Next Time trailer.
I've already
So,
said-
Yeah, well, it looks like there's
Yeah.
lots of Ice Warriors in it. Mark Gatiss is writing, which means it's either going to be shit or fun. So fingers crossed, we get a fun Ice Warrior story.
They better not
It's
use
Mark-
the Cybermen theme in it, though.
It looks like they're going to. I mean, Murray Gold seems to be reusing a lot of music. This
See, I
season.
actually really like that bit of music, the Cybermen theme, the modern Cybermen theme. But it's like, fuck off. It's like, I'm so done,
It's for the
Dylan.
Cybermen.
I'm so done.
Yeah. I'm
next.
I'm really, 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 really ready for not only a new composer, but many new composers that are going to work on different stories at the same time, and hence each story will get a score which is suited to that particular story, rather than just have all of this, samey sounding recycled orchestra music, which isn't made for each episode individually. It's just kind of feels very general.
So the
Doesn't
Next
really
Time
suit.
trailer, my thoughts. It looks fun. I'm willing to give it a chance.
I
It's
thought
Mark
you didn't.
Gatiss.
I thought you didn't watch it, Brian.
I did.
Just it right then.
Oh, I thought that was what you were protesting about.
He,
It took me a second to remember.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So you
That's
definitely weren't looking at it on YouTube while we were
No,
talking.
definitely not. Looks fun. The shit Cyberman theme,
I
Well,
like it.
don't let that colour your impressions already.
Oh, that's not covering my
I've just learned
impression. I'm
to
just
ignore.
like
Murray Gold
Matt.
for the most part now.
I'm done with Murray Gold.
I've been
so-
done with Murray Gold
so
for
done.
longer than most people, but I'm glad people are finally joining my ranks.
The Q12
Yeah.
Doctor theme.
I'm looking forward to seeing the Ice Warriors again.
Da, 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 da.
That's the fucking 11th Doctor theme. Anyway, right. Fuck off,
No,
everybody.
no,
Thanks
no,
for being
no.
on.
On a
Fuck off,
second
Brian.
No,
No, no, Dylan, I've got